want to say something before we get underway about the tape never lies. Okay, so I know that there's a million, no, there's a billion podcasts and a lot of people talking about NFL and talking about the Bears. But let me just say that you really, if you are a viewer of Tape Never Lies, don't go anywhere else. Come right here. And the reason why is because Dr. Phil and the smartest man to ever live is going to tell you like it is. And so sometimes you'll go over here and I'll go over here and you'll hear this rhetoric over here, over there. Whittle it down. What I would say is ESPN Chicago, because I'll put myself over and I'll put ESPN 1000 over. But I think that we have to start whittling it down, man, because when you get these 10 or 15 sources, it muddles your mind on exactly what's truth and what's not. The Tape Never Lies network is about the truth.
Is about the motherfucking truth. What's up, everybody? I'm Ivan Vargas. Welcome back to the best four-letter Bears network on the motherfucking planet. And don't you forget it. Got a lot of talk going about us. A lot of people, a lot of passive aggressiveness out there. A lot of people that don't wanna say our name, but keep our names in their fucking mouth. But don't worry. Like Jay Hood said, when the lights come on, the roaches will scatter. Anyways, guys, welcome back to another Bears show. I'm Ivan Vargas. Big Bears news. The Bears trade the 4th round pick for Keenan Allen, and I can't be more hyped. The Bears finally are going after some weapons, teaming him up with DJ Moore. Gonna have a real chance at having playmakers this season. Shall it be Caleb Williams? Shall it be Justin Fields? We're not going to get into that. We're going to talk about Keenan Allen right now. But before we do, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Tape Never Lies Network. Make sure you become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com. Now, we apologize for yesterday. DDP obviously felt under the weather. But remember, once we get the go-ahead, once he's feeling better, we will have Joe Alt for you guys. I'm sure Shane could give me an update on that. Maybe I send him a text on when we're going to be doing it again. But we will be having Joe Alt and the first episode of Draft Mob come to you guys as soon as DDP feels a little better. But anyway, Keenan Allen, a fantastic pickup for what you gave up for him, right? A veteran 6-time Pro Bowler, has been the number 1 receiver for the San Diego Chargers for his entire career. There's the San Diego LA Chargers, for his entire career. A veteran coming in to hopefully help groom and help mold a younger quarterback in Caleb Williams. And this is why I really believe they're going to go out and put all their eggs in the basket with Caleb Williams. When you went after Keenan Allen, you no longer need to really focus on going after a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., a guy like Malik Neighbors, a guy like Roma Dunze. Not to say that their talent isn't good, not to say that they're not going to be good wide receivers in their own right. But now you have 2 proven playmakers that can be reliable targets for a young guy. You added another veteran tight end to help back up Cole Kmet, another reliable target. See, to me, it's just building up, even with the plugging up of the holes on offense, right? We're kind of frustrated. I was giving him a C-, and that's Ryan Poles and what he was doing in free agency. But with this one, it shoots up to a B+. It really does shoot up to a B+ with potential to be like an A- type of a free agency so far, because you addressed needs that were there. You know, you lost Eddie Jackson. You filled the void with Kevin Byard. You had holes on the offensive line. You went ahead and filled that up. You needed to add to the running back room. You did that. Granted, they weren't big name guys, but they were able to do it efficiently, and you got players that have explosive abilities. DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen. Now, we could go ahead and bring up Keenan Allen's stats, which I will right now. Oop, that's not it. And granted, he had some injury issues back in the day, but it seems to me like those have, he still missed a few games here and there, which it is the NFL. But right here, early in his career, he was out quite some time, but you could see he was still productive, right? He still had some productive seasons, even though he spent a short time on the field. But then look at this after that. Look at 17, 18, 19, and into 21. 1,000-yard seasons, just missed out on having 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons as a LA Charger. Keenan Allen, in my opinion, just solidified that the Chicago Bears are going to trade down at 9, going to recoup some draft capital, going to select Caleb Williams, they're either going to keep Justin Fields and wait until somebody needs a quarterback, or somebody, or even post-draft where, or even into training camp where maybe somebody gets hurt, hopefully not, but maybe somebody gets hurt and you're able to move on from Justin. Whatever it is, number 9 is going to be moved. You're going to select Caleb Williams at 1. You're going to trade down at 9. You're going to recoup draft capital. You'll probably get, depending on who wants to jump back up into the top 10, may it be a team at Denver at 12, or maybe somebody else, a little further down the line wants to risk it all to jump up and grab a guy that they're convicted on. Who knows? But to me, this just sets up the Chicago Bears for success next season. You could say regardless of who the quarterback is, but I really, truly believe it sets up the Bears for Caleb Williams to be drafted and for them to move on and recoup some more draft picks at 9 and continue to add through the draft like they promised. And there was a huge panic about what Ryan Poles was doing in free agency to start. I don't think there's that much of a panic anymore now that you kind of see where they're headed. And truth be told, Ryan Poles has not wavered from what he said he will do, building this football team, built through the draft. And don't be negligent with your money in free agency. Don't be chasing, things that aren't there in free agency. Don't risk things that, will end up biting you in the ass. Winnebago Bear 95. What's up? TTNL is the best show, period on the planet. Let them know. Thank you, Winnebago. But yeah, seeing as Ryan Poles has continued to stick with that commitment, this is a good pickup. A 4th-round draft pick for a veteran guy. He's 31 right now. You'll probably try to work out some type of deal with him to keep him on the team for, a little bit longer. But you get the last best years, hopefully, of Keenan Allen. And then you have DJ Moore, who still has, a lot of time left in his career. You end up drafting some younger receivers, because you still could draft young receivers later in this draft. There's still talent out there in this draft. But you can also address other needs in the meantime. People talk about, the quarterback. Well, with that 1st-round draft pick, we could go in and fill all these other voids. Well, yeah, you could also do that with the number 9 pick. It's a top 10 pick. So, I understand, you may not get the haul that you were going to get with the number 1 pick, but you're still going to get quality draft picks, top 100 draft picks back, multiple of those for trading up to number 9, at least depending on where your trade partner is sitting in the draft order. So I don't see why they would go ahead and stay at 9 and draft a receiver when you have 2 capable receivers here. You had a young receiver in Scott. You still got Valus, I guess, on the roster, even though I'm expecting Valus to get cut if somebody else beats him out. Who knows? Maybe he just sits on the roster and is like the 5th wide receiver, but that's neither here nor there. The Bears have made it clear in my eyes that they're going to trade this number 9 pick and they're going to stay at 1, select Caleb Williams. Like I said, whether they trade Justin Fields, that's yet to be seen. Can they trade Justin Fields is the question right now. They'll have to stay there. If they can't find a suitable partner, they'll have to stay there for a little bit. But like I'd mentioned before, at a certain point, the league is telling you what they want, right? You can't demand a second for Justin. You can't demand a third for Justin. The tape and the stats don't match what the draft capital is that the Bears, I think, initially were thinking that they were going to collect for Justin Fields. So Ryan Poles has a little bit of a dilemma, but I don't think that's going to deter them from drafting Caleb number 1, regardless of what happens. It just might take a little bit longer for Justin Fields to find a suitable destination to land. And that's part of, the obstacle course that I'm sure it is of being a GM. You're going to have to figure out how to manage these people and put these players in positions. And, in this particular one, now you got to find out where to put a player on your team and where he's going to, fit best. Is it on your football team or is it on somebody else's football team? And, truth be told, it's just not going to work if you keep both of them on the roster through this season. You want to give the younger player, if they draft Caleb Williams, hopefully when they draft Caleb Williams, you want to give the younger player the most attention and the most focus. With Justin being in the locker room and having Caleb in the locker room, there's just going to be this, whether there is tension between them or not, there's still going to be, created tension from outside sources that whether the story is true or not, and you know how shit spins, but whether the story is true or not, they're going to make a story of it. And it's unneeded, it's unnecessary, it's unwanted when you're trying to groom a young quarterback. So I don't see Justin being on the team for much longer. It's just all about who's going to pick him up, who's going to entertain the trade idea, and what are they going to settle for on the Bears side for Justin Fields. We'll see. Let's get to some of your guys' questions. Like I said, we had Winnebago Bear. Thank you for the donation. We got Ray Rojas. What's up? Yeah, you didn't miss anything. Creighton, I am not fired. Believe it or not, they haven't fired me yet. Robert S. Now we trade Fields and draft Williams. That's the idea. Jay, bear the fuck down, fam. Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm pumped. Adrian, I'm hyped. I'm Keenan Allen's talent matched with a guy like DJ Moore. You add quality depth in the position on your offensive line. Now you still have the opportunity to draft wide receivers and playmakers a little bit later in the draft. It's just, it might not be the top 4 guys that you want. It might not be those guys. There's still Brian Thomas Jr. is still a good wide receiver. You still have talent like in the second round. There's going to be wide receiver talent in this draft, no doubt. But you're going to have to realize there's no need to be aggressive at 9 and taking another playmaker. Now that you've added a guy like Keenan Allen, right? You have 2 veterans, 2 established guys, 2 guys that you could trust. I feel like any quarterback can trust. You've seen DJ Moore do it with multiple quarterbacks in Carolina. You've seen him, have a good year with Justin Fields last year. You've seen Keenan Allen do it as well with multiple guys. So I feel that that's the exact route that they're going to head. 9 is gone. In my mind, 9 is going to be moved. Who to depends. It all depends, but they will accumulate, multiple picks for that number 9 pick. I expect them to go back into the second round by doing that. Now, like I mentioned before, the partner, if you can find somebody in those late teens, I would expect not only that first round pick, so you just swap first round picks, 9 and let's say somewhere in the late teens or what have you, if that's the situation. This is just a hypothetical, and you could pick up 3, 4, picks after with the swap of the ones. So I'm still positive about the capital that could come back if you trade 9, even with one, being there. Why would you it? Just you're looking at it as Justin Fields is going to come back and light the world up with all these guys. Okay, so if he doesn't do that, right? If we're looking at it that way, if Justin Fields comes back, doesn't light it up with these guys, struggles again, struggles to, with anticipation, struggles with ball protection, you're going to pay him $50 million? No. These moves are all safety nets for a young quarterback. They're not going to go ahead and risk that. Now, we could talk about Justin Fields having a career year after that and lighting it up. I just don't think that the Chicago Bears see Justin Fields as their future quarterback. I don't think they want to pay him that money with what they've seen so far. Good kid or not, this is all a safety net for Caleb Williams. For Caleb Williams. Let's move on to some of these comments. Elmer, do you feel like this is more of a reaction for a poor free agent period? For example, missed on Wonham now. They have to select an edge in the draft versus a wide receiver. I mean, no. I still wanted them to draft an edge. There's going to be some good edges in this draft. So I feel like, they wanted to sign a veteran guy. I wanted them to sign, to have 3 guys. I wanted Montez Sweat, a guy drafted, and I wanted a veteran signed. But since it doesn't look like that's the case, trading 9 and going after an edge sounds like a good idea and sounds like something that Ryan Poles might do come draft time. But I don't think it's just a reaction. I think that he was out there. You have a proven talent. You have a veteran guy. And you're going to have a young quarterback that's going to need help, right? It's going to need help. So why not put guys that know what they're doing, guys that have been there around him? That's just how I'm looking at it. You have the opportunity to draft a young quarterback. You're not going to throw him to the wolves like Justin Fields got thrown to the wolves, right? You're going to surround him with the talent, and then you're going to play it out. And then you're going to see. Now, like I said, getting rid of Justin Fields or trading Justin Fields, that's the tricky part. That's the tricky part. I hope it doesn't go into the season. I really hope it doesn't go into the season because I wouldn't want that type of distraction, if and when we do draft Caleb Williams. I'm just looking at it as you want the focus to be on the guy you're trying to make the guy, not the guy that, not the guy that was there, but the guy here that you're trying to make the guy. Now, Justin Fields, beloved in the locker room or not, it's just on the football field, not good enough. And I'll say it again, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Not good enough. Want to talk about coaching? Fine. Why did Luke Getsy get swooped up right away? Why haven't the Raiders gone after Justin Fields with aggression? If Justin Fields is that good, why didn't Luke Getsy, bang the table for Justin Fields? If Justin Fields is that good, why didn't his hometown Atlanta Falcons push for the kid? Hell, the fucking Panthers. Somebody, where is the offers? We should have heard offers. We didn't hear offers because they weren't the offers the Chicago Bears wanted. So now they're going to have to regroup and figure it out all over again. Sticky situation. Doug Connell, it would cause serious issues, especially knowing how Fields was with Dalton and Foles. I think he has to go because I believe Fields would try to turn the locker room against Caleb. I don't know if he would try to turn the locker room against Caleb. I don't think it would be a Justin versus Caleb type of thing. I think it'd be a Justin's pissed off at the front office, type of situation. Like, I wouldn't expect them to be like best friends, but to have like a hatred for the guy for what? For being drafted? I don't think he would personally try to sabotage the locker room. I think he would just bang on the table for him to be traded. He would demand a trade. He would try to force his way out by any means. And that's not what you want. You want to get it done quickly. You want new beginnings to start for everybody, a clean slate. And you don't want there to be any, overlap with that. The trade gives us flexibility in the draft. Yep, it absolutely does. Creighton, to require draft picks, you still need a wide receiver. Allen is a stopgap. Trade 9, grab Thomas, and a third-round pick. Trade Fields, 1 second from next year for a second this year, and a fourth. Boom, 7 picks. All right. We'll see. Pairing Fields. I think you're going to have to pair Fields with a draft pick. I really do. Depending on who it is. Hopefully Seattle has something to, say about that. Maybe Denver. I don't think Denver. I don't know if maybe Sean Payton would use him not as a Taysom Hill, but he would definitely use him in running situations. And since he's, been dynamic that way, I think Sean Payton would do something like that. He'd draft a pocket passer, and Justin Fields would come in certain specific situations and run plays. But that's just me spitballing. That's not what I feel Sean Payton wants. I actually don't think Sean Payton wants Justin Fields at all. But if he were to go there, that's kind of how I see Justin being used in Sean Payton's offense. Gary, Keenan may only be here 1 year, so get an elite receiver, whether you trade down from 9 or stay there. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I see them trading from 9 because of the depth of wide receivers. Like, like it was mentioned before from Creighton, Brian Thomas Jr. is a really good receiver, man. Like, they had 2 really good receivers there at LSU helping out Jaden Daniels, excuse me. So, you can get another receiver in that teen, that 10 to 20 area. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be a good receiver, I believe. You could go after him. You could still go after a guy in Jackson Powers Johnson, if that's where you want to head. You only have I forgot his name, but we just signed the center, but he's only signed to 1 year. So you have another stopgap there at center. Why not draft a young guy? I'm sure Powers Johnson, would just play. He would be a backup, but I'm sure he could also learn to play multiple positions. Maybe they try him out at guard, or maybe he just sits and learns how to be a pro for a year, and then you put him in next season, he's ready to go. You could go that route. You still got wide receivers that you could find in the second round. So it's a deep class of wide receivers, and there's multiple things the Bears could do moving down from 9 while retaining that number 1 pick. I wouldn't draft Bowers, Gary, at 9. Now with Everett, yeah, I don't think Bowers is on the radar for the Bears at all. It's just how I'm seeing it. Maybe they surprise us, but I don't think so. Bear Truth, what's up? I believe they're gonna want Lati verse. I think that will dictate how far they go down. Yeah, like I said, they have the opportunity to slide down a bit, pick up one of those guys. Whether it be Lati or verse, still be able to address a playmaker in the second round if they want. And I'm quite sure they'd have another draft pick in there. Uh, maybe in the third round, maybe that, depending on where and who they trade with. But yeah, I am disappointed that they didn't get, they haven't signed an edge in free agency, a veteran guy, just because I'd like the idea of having a rotation of 3 guys, um, 3 guys that are hungry, ready to go, and then obviously you can have a 4th guy there too. But 3 really talented pass rushers in a rotation of 4 or more, depending on what the Bears want to do on the defensive line. But that's where I wanted to go. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, but they can, pick up a guy in the draft that can be effective this season. Jack, say it with your chest, baby. CW. Yeah, it's like I said, it doesn't, it all the signs are pointing to, hey, the Chicago Bears are loading up to draft this guy and really truly protect him with real veteran players, veteran receivers, guys that are, trustworthy, guys that have been there and done that, and really get going. Like, I think the Bears can be contenders next season because they have a team that's being built around a quarterback that I believe is going to, I wouldn't say he's going to light the world on fire in his first year, but I think he's going to be exactly what we wanted in a quarterback his first year. Will he be 4,000 yards, 45 touchdowns? I don't, he's still a rookie. But with Caleb Williams, I feel like the Bears absolutely have a chance to compete next season, especially with the veteran talent that they've surrounded them with. They're still a young football team. They're still adding on the offensive line. Their defense is still being, added to and getting better. So, and now you got hungry, guys that are hungry. You guys got Jalen Johnson. He's just signed a contract. Hopefully, he stays hungry and focused by all accounts. And from what he's, how he's spoken, I believe he's still hungry. You got Kevin Byard coming in here, a veteran leader who knows how to, listening to him speak, he seems like he understands, the locker room dynamics really well and how to become a part of a locker room. So I'm looking forward to the Chicago Bears team to being a very, much improved football team all around, especially at the quarterback position. Especially at the quarterback position. So, yeah, Jack, it's CW for me all the way. Real deal. Justin performs his worst in the fourth quarter. Bad at situation football and 2-minute drive. Yep, that's part of it. That's part of the reason why the Bears are looking, kind of sheepish, because you bit off a little more than you can chew. Yeah, he's a starter. Yeah, he, had this dynamic season 2 years ago with his legs. He's still young, but the things that you've seen on tape, you see these flashes and then you see these gaps of inconsistency. And then you see flashes and then gaps of inconsistency. That's Justin Fields right now. And in a situation like this, where you have an opportunity to reset the quarterback time clock, get a quarterback that, by all accounts, is the best passer in the draft. You know, and I hate comparing him to Mahomes. I really don't like comparing him to Mahomes. But these things have been said about other quarterbacks in this draft, right? Aaron Rodgers fell how far? 22nd, 24th, 28th, somewhere around there to the Packers, because somebody didn't like his, whatever, somebody said something about this or that. Did the Packers give a shit when they won a Super Bowl? No. Did they give a shit every time they kicked our ass with Aaron Rodgers? No. So the nail painting, the people that are bitching about that, the people that are bitching about him, showing emotion, finding refuge in his family and his mom, bitching about that. It's a clown show. You're focused on the wrong shit. All that has nothing to do with football. The kid could play. Shy Will, do you think Doug Kramer will get a chance this year? Is Doug Kramer even on the team? I don't think Doug Kramer is even on the team. I think Doug Kramer got moved, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go ahead and look up Doug Kramer. It will drive me nuts. Yeah, he's with Arizona. Either way, Doug Kramer, I don't think he'll get a shot either way on Arizona or Chicago. See, Creighton, you wanted Bajent gone when they brought him in. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, maybe they're really not wanting to get rid of Fields. I know you guys want to reset the market, but the dude has been dealt a shitty hand. That's not my argument whatsoever, Jim. Justin Fields absolutely was given a shitty hand. And he was given a shitty hand by two guys that are no longer here anymore. Right? Why isn't Ryan Pace going after, pushing for Justin Fields? Why did they go after Kirk Cousins in Atlanta? Pace is there. Pace is the guy that drafted him. And I'm not coming at you, Jim. I'm just saying, the shitty hand or not, Justin Fields hasn't been done dirty by these guys, right? He was done dirty by Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace. From drafting him, knowing that they were desperate, from throwing him to the Wolves in Cleveland, then getting their asses fucking fired, you know what I mean? Then they're gone, and good luck, Justin. Au revoir, peace. And then you got these guys coming in, and you have to try to pick up the pieces from a guy that I truly feel was shell-shocked. Wasn't prepared his first year at all. Maybe came in a little cocky, but nonetheless, I don't believe Ryan Poles or Matt Eberflus, even to an extent, Luke Getsy, are really to blame for Fields' lack of progression. It might not be complete lack of progression, but he has not taken the leap by any means, in my eyes. It's just not consistent enough. Jack, any chance we bring back Yannick or sign a vet like Clowney, or are we done spending? I think you'll continue to see these smaller transactions with the Bears, maybe a few more. I don't think any big money is going to be moved around, but I think you'll continue to see um, depth additions. Ryan Poles, like I said, he moves methodically, but it's because they're not going to be neglectful with how they spend this money. They're going to do their due diligence. They're going to make sure the medicals are all good. They're going to make sure that this guy, isn't somebody that can be detrimental to the locker room. So they have to really vet and comb through their with their process, because they want specific type of players and specific types of attitudes, and they definitely don't want to risk paying a guy that has injury or has lingering injuries, or something that they haven't, you can't see from a face to face. Cuthbert, Getsy gets rehired. PDQ Mooney gets signed by Atlanta ASAP, but 31 teams don't want Fields. That scream volumes, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I don't think that they don't want Fields, right? I don't think that's the case. I think it's they don't want Fields for a number 2 and a number fucking 4. They're not looking to trade multiple draft picks for Justin Fields. I honestly don't believe that. I think Fields for a 4 and run to the door. Like, Fields for a 4 and run right to the door. That's my advice to Ryan Poles. Because I don't see you getting a 3rd for Justin Fields, and you're damn sure not getting 2 fucking picks for him. That's running a risk. That could get you fired. If you're another team, you trade 2 draft picks for Justin Fields, and he goes out and he doesn't do shit for your team. Like I said, there hasn't been enough consistency in his play to make me think, as a non-GM, to make me think that they're going to go up and give multiple draft picks. What do you think the GMs are seeing? If everybody was like, all right, Justin Fields for 2, this shit would have been done by now. It's Justin Fields for a 4, maybe a 5. I don't think a 5 is warranted, but I truly believe that teams are going to stay away from giving up 2s and 3s for a guy that is inconsistent and is in the bottom half of the league statistically and can't close out in the 4th quarter. Corey Kennedy, I love TTNL, spent a lot of personal time and talents with you guys, but Poles is going to trade back from the 1st overall pick. Poles is going to build through the draft, like he said. Okay, Corey, I mean, he could do that with 9. Like I said, you can do both. You can add with your number 1 at the quarterback position. You can trade back a top 10 pick at 9, recoup some draft picks. You've added a talented wide receiver in Keenan Allen. Why not there? I don't see where the consistency with Justin Fields or where it is at all, but I don't see how we can just say, all right, from what I've seen, Justin just needs this, he needs that. So you're telling me that Justin needs everybody else to be better so he can be better, right? Everybody else has to be talented about so Justin can be better. Justin doesn't make people better. Does he? I mean, it's hard. It's like I said, it's a tough situation to navigate because Justin just hasn't done it in my eyes. Where are the fourth quarter closeout wins? Where are the comeback wins? Where are the big passing games? The offensive line has gotten better, yeah. I mean, we haven't had the best center, but there's times where Justin Fields just leaves too much meat on the bone. Brian Crow, rumors are the Vikings are trading up with the Pats. Just rumors right now. Yeah, the Vikings want McCarthy. I think a couple teams want McCarthy. Maybe the Broncos might be trying to get up there and select them. We'll see what happens. The pro days are coming up here soon. We got 5 days till Caleb's pro day on the 20th, and then I believe it's the next 3 days or so. I'll have to look at the schedule again. But I think the next 2 days after that are the other two quarterbacks, Daniels and or the other top 3 quarterbacks, Daniels and my guy from North Carolina, Mitch 2.0. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so it's coming up here soon. We're gonna find out a lot more about guys once Bears get the medicals, once they go to the pro day, because they'll be at the pro day. It's not like they're not going to go. It's not like they're, I don't see how people could think that the Bears are trying to finesse teams at number one. It's like, teams are going to want to go up to number one regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like you want to move up to number one. Fine. There might be a little finessing there, but it's not like you're going to have to work real hard to find a team that's going to give up multiple picks at number one. It's all about, do you have conviction in the player at number one? And I believe they do. Jamari, defense failed to close out games, my opinion, too. They failed to get off the field. Great pressure is missing tackles and assignments, etc. versus Green Bay. They couldn't tackle Jones. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But I think they're getting better. Like I said, you got a tackler in our new safety in Byard, like more aggressive than Eddie. I expect there to be, more guys flying to the ball this season. We get a full season of Montez Sweat. I still believe they're going to add, to the defensive line, whether it be through the draft or, continuing to find guys in free agency. But that's a good point. The defense also struggled, but they also made strides. So continuing to add there is a must. Like, let's not be blind to that. You still have to add on the defensive side. But I feel like this year, more than any, you're going to focus offensively, and it starts with the quarterback. All right, I wanted to go ahead and jump into the DeAndre Swift interview since I didn't get to it yesterday before I wrap things up. Here we are. Once again, before I go ahead and just to close out the Caleb Williams thing, you have this opportunity that literally hasn't come along ever but now. Seize this opportunity and get a quarterback that we haven't had in over a century. Even if Justin is on the football team to start the season, which I don't believe will happen, make sure you grab the quarterback. We haven't seen as a fan base, the organization hasn't seen, since, like I said, even if you want to point to like McMahon, Luckman, and Cutler, right, with their throwing prowess, I don't think we've seen a guy like this. I really don't. So, Even if you go ahead and try to hedge your bets and you have both of them, fuck it, fine. Don't pass up on Caleb Williams. It'll be a mistake to do so. Type of shit that'll get you fired, Jim. Don't think you're coming at me. Didn't think you're coming at me, bro. I was just saying, but when you don't have a good offensive coordinator, a good quarterback coach helping you along, it's rough. And to me, most quarterbacks. Yeah, no, I understand. Like it wasn't a good situation for Justin, right? It's still not going to be a good situation for Justin. I feel like come this year. I think the best bet for Justin is to move on himself. He should have wanted to move on in the middle of last season because I felt like it was just Luke Getsy was telling you something, even though Luke Getsy has his flaws. But Luke Getsy was telling you something. The play of Tyson Bagent kind of told you a little bit more, even though Tyson Bagent's numbers pretty much matched Justin Fields in the two games, but he was able to win. I just think it's time to move on. I think a fresh start for the organization, a fresh start for Justin Fields is exactly what's needed. But where's that fresh start going to be? $41 more days. God. 41 more agonizing days. No, it's going to be awesome leading up to it. I've never seen an off season like this with the anticipation, the anxiety of what the hell they're going to do, what's going on. But when it comes down to it, the Bears are getting better. Keenan Allen makes the Bears better. Ryan Poles continues to, he's made mistakes. Claypool, I think Valus is a mistake. I don't really count Larry Ogunjobi as a mistake, more as just more as embarrassing a little bit. You your first big signing doesn't pan out like in 2 days, the same week. So yeah, I'm looking for Ryan Poles to continue to be, pound that drum, continue to stay on the path that he's deciding that he pretty much told us he would be doing in that first interview he had when he was brought to the Bears. So let's see what happens. Let's see how it plays out. Ryan Poles is just he's very good at not telling you shit, and it's very frustrating. But I'm happy that he's on our side. Anyway, let's go get into the DeAndre Swift interview. Talk about this a little bit, and I'll also be reading your comments. So if you guys continue to want to have questions about Caleb or Justin or what have you, I'll get to them. I'll get to them as soon as I can.
What are your thoughts on coming here to Chicago? What other options do you have, and why did you want to come to the Bears?
Ultimately, it came down to where I was wanted at the most. I feel like this was the best decision for me, best opportunity for me with everything that was out there. So I feel like I made the best decision. I'm excited to be here, excited to be a Bear.
DeAndre, you're coming off a career year in Philadelphia. What do you attribute the breakthrough in terms of your production last year to?
Just thankful for the opportunity, especially that Philly gave me to go out there and have the opportunity to produce first and foremost. But how I prepared, my mentality, the way I attack work each and every day, that's kind of how I got there.
The Bears signed you really quickly once free agency started. How much was it apparent that you were a priority for them?
Just talking to my agent, couple conversations with him, I kind of knew that the Bears wanted me, so it was kind of made an easy decision for me to kind of wrap my mind around where I wanted to. Continue my career next.
Have you talked with Shane Waldron yet? And do you have a feel for how you're going to fit in the scheme?
Not yet. Just and got a chance to introduce myself to him. I'm sure we'll get to know each other a little bit more and talk ball in a little bit. But just introducing myself to the guys and the coaching staff and everybody in the building first and foremost.
How do you envision it working out in the backfield with you and Khalil and Roshan?
It's a great running back room. I was real familiar with it before I got here. A lot of talent in the running back room. however it play out. I don't expect anything coming to it. I'm gonna come in here and work, and earn whatever role that they have for me.
Did they pitch you on a role as part of recruiting you? And
No, I'm not. They didn't. That's just how my mentality is. They didn't pitch a role or say anything about a role. I'm just saying I'm gonna earn whatever they give me. You know what I mean?
Were you tight with Justin Fields at Georgia?
Yeah, that's just my guy.
Has he talked to you? Have you heard from him or since you signed or?
I have not.
When you're researching and putting everything into making the best decision, I'm sure you want to look at the quarterback situation. What kind of questions do you have to this team about what they're looking to do, and how important was that to you?
That's the decision for the people up in those offices. I can't really focus on that too much. I have to worry about my job and my task at hand. So I'm sure that's a decision that they will make.
DeAndre, did you know Fields was going to be what he is now when you were with him? You know, he didn't play a whole lot at the year you were at Georgia. Did you see it then in him, or what were your impressions then?
I've always been a Justin Fields fan from Georgia when he was in high school. Once I first found out about him, I feel like he hasn't even touched the ceiling of who he can be. So I'm excited to see him keep going.
They didn't give any hints what they're doing at quarterback when they recruited you?
Nah.
As a back, as you try to get familiarity with the offense you're going to be in, what are you curious to learn when you finally get a chance to talk?
Right. It was like, what was he? What did you expect him to say? You know, came from Georgia. Obviously, I'm sure he knows Justin Fields. I'm sure they're friends. Like, what was he gonna say, man? You know what I'm saying? What was he gonna? Yeah. You know what? You know what? They told me they're moving on from Justin. Like, you're not gonna get anything out of DeAndre Swift. Maybe he'll slip up, but you aren't gonna get any negative from DeAndre Swift on Justin Fields.
Football stuff and figure out what the system is.
Always looking to learn. Always looking to learn. Always looking to learn to get better. Ways to get better. Asking coaches what they see out of my game that I can get better on and work on throughout this time off. Then when I come back, when team comes back, that I can, work on, and then that they see that I worked on it. So always looking to get better at things that they see.
What do you think you bring to whatever offense you're put into?
Playmaking ability. A team first guy, great locker room guy, guy that wants to win. First and foremost, that's what it's all about. Guy that's gonna come in here, like I said, work every single day. Same mentality every single day. Looking forward to winning and just getting the most out of me. That's all. And the cities and the organizations are gonna get that.
Along those same lines, how would you describe yourself as a player? Obviously, you've been a pretty good receiver throughout your career to go with your running ability.
I feel like God has blessed me a lot of ability to kind of do a little bit of everything, and I say that because I know the amount of work that I put in, so I'm comfortable with saying I can do everything.
Any memories?
And that's, like I said before, that's exactly the types of players that Ryan Poles is looking for. Guys that are extremely talented, but can do multiple things, can play multiple positions, have multiple talents, and not just, a guy that's, really good at one thing, but can adjust and step up when needed. We talked about, next man up. Well, this is a trait and a quality that I believe is important to have that type of mentality succeed in the next man up. Be prepared, but also, have multiple talents in your arsenal.
Stand out for you playing against the Bears all those years?
Memories, couple good ones. Had a couple plays that I remember that we ain't got to talk about. I'm a Chicago Bear now, so it don't matter now. I'm just happy to be here. Happy to be a Bear.
As somebody who's played in the division, though, what opportunity or what kind of opportunity do you think you have now with the Bears? What opportunity do the Bears have? You've got Aaron Rodgers isn't in it anymore. The Lions are coming off an unprecedented season. The Vikings have their issues at quarterback. It seems like
the division wide open. Yeah, 100%. I feel like the division is wide open for whoever wants to take it. It's going to take hard work. Ain't going to come overnight. You got to put the work in. Got to grind for it. But I feel like we could do it.
DeAndre, you had a career high 175 yards rushing against the Vikings last season. Career high for you. What do you remember about that game?
I was just, that game, it was special. That game was special. Being back home for the first time, first home game, just having the opportunity to get those carries, the opportunities to get the attempts to kind of make stuff happen. But that game, I was just locked in. It was I was blocking out the crowd, everything. It was one I remember. Yeah, for sure.
DeAndre, as a running back, would you prefer to get more carries throughout a game to get a feel to kind of get into that groove that you were just kind of talking about? How does that kind of work for a running back, especially here when there's multiple guys that come?
Yeah, I would say for any back, I feel like you kind of need touches to kind of get a feel for the game. Every game is different. I think I'll speak for any running back. You kind of need touches to kind of get a feel for the game, and the more touches you get, the game kind of slows down for you. And it comes a little bit. I wouldn't say easier, but make a little bit more things happen.
You're able to, like you said, you're able to settle down. You're able to see things a little bit more clearly. You're just in a rhythm. You're in the rhythm with the game. I talk about it a lot. Phil's talked about it a lot. When you're running the football, running is about rhythm. It's about consistency. You have to gain a rhythm as a running back. Pulling them out after one or two plays isn't helping him out, gaining that rhythm and that that need to settle down. It doesn't help out your running back at all. It just kind of keeps him on edge and doesn't really settle him down. So rhythm is a huge key when running the football.
Andrew, you're obviously in Detroit as they were starting to begin their climb. What do you take away from that experience of watching a team come from the lower ranks and start to make that climb?
I wasn't surprised at all. The way Dan is, the way the culture has been set since he got there. The way the players buy into it. They're doing a great job over there. I say that.
What was important to you when you looked at your free agent options and where you could go? What really stood out? What made the Bears the fit for you?
I said, at the end of the day, it came down to who wanted me in the building the most, and that's kind of where I'd rather be at.
Are there ways to show that beyond money? I mean, I know the money is nice, but how did you feel the love?
Just talking to my agent, he was telling me I'm trusting in him and what he's telling me and the information that he's giving me. So kind of made the decision easy for me, like I said.
You doing Monday? Obviously, it's a day where you don't know how quickly things are going to come together, and then
Stressing. No, I was laying down. I was in the laying down on my phone next to me. In the room in the house by myself. Really kind of didn't want to be around too many people. Kind of gathering my thoughts. Just waiting for my agent to let me know something. It's a moment I'd never forget.
was it relieving how quickly it came together?
Once I got the call, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Do you keep tabs on the other running backs? Obviously, it's been a big week for backs moving around and getting.
Yeah, I see all the stuff that transpires and all the transactions. It's been a lot of moving parts for running backs this offseason, I'd say.
You said it's a moment you'll never forget. What about it was so special and unforgettable for you?
Just knowing it's another step in the journey, on my journey. I say it like that. Just something I never forget, like being able to be home for a year and then packing up and starting the next chapter in my life. Basically, that's really what I'm saying.
I know that running back salary has been a big talking point the last couple of years. Do you think that a lot of guys getting paid this offseason has remedied that at all or made that better?
I feel like everybody's situation a little bit different, I would say. It's tough to say because I know where the running back salary market was once at, but I don't. It's a different day and age right now, so I can't really speak on everybody's situation. Like it's kind of a little bit different. But from last year, I would say it's trending in the right direction.
You mentioned the vibe that Dan Campbell has built in Detroit. What do you like about the vibe here and what Matty Eberflus and Ryan Paulson?
I just got here today, but I could tell it's family oriented. Especially the McCaskey family and how things that I've heard. Thank them for allowing me to be a part of this tremendous organization. Mr. Pose for believing me, trusting me for bringing me in first and foremost. But I could tell it's a family oriented place. The people in the cafeteria, everybody smiling, just happy. Seemed like a place where you want to come and work every day.
Am I muted? Oh, damn it. Mute. See, I was trying to fix it and then it muted out. Sorry, guys. But no, like I was just letting you guys know that DeAndre Swift, you heard him, like, it's good to be where you're wanted, right? He obviously was wanted by the Chicago Bears, and I think that is because of the multiple talents that he has. And Ryan Poles, envies that. He wants those things, those abilities, and hopefully all his players, right? But having those abilities, the ability to catch, the ability to run between the tackles, the explosiveness, that really is attractive to what Ryan Poles, wants to add to the running back room. I don't know if they're going to add through free agency at this point. If they're able, to move down from 9 and collect, okay. Maybe they try to pick up some undrafted guys, but as of right now, I'm not upset with that running back room. I still have a lot of questions about whether it's, whether Khalil Herbert's going to stick around, just because you have, the pass blocking questions. You have, I still have some questions about his pass catching ability, but nonetheless, he's one of the guys that I feel like, because the lack of pass protection, might be the guy that is the odd man out, especially if you can find somebody that can do similar things to what he does, but can pass block as well. So we'll see what happens with the running back room. We'll see what happens as far as the Chicago Bears continuing to add in free agency. Show ain't done. Free agency ain't done yet. We're still kind of trucking along and leading up to the draft. And it's been a very fun, stress-driven ride, but so far. But in the end, I think the Chicago Bears, as a whole, as a team, have gotten better and are going to be a team that is going to take a step next season. Regardless of what anybody says, the Bears are getting better. So that's a positive in my book. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here, go get some food before I had to head to work. Thank you guys for joining me here on this midday matinee show of another Bears show. So anyway, before I get out of here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Tape Never Lies Network. Make sure you become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com. And, like I said before, if you want to go ahead and listen to other people, that's fine. Go ahead and listen to other people. But if you want the truth, if you want no nonsense BS, right here, Tape Never Lies. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Don't do anything I won't do. Let me go ahead and click this out. And also, like I said, just be advised that we're going to have this Joe Alt live tape breakdown coming soon for the patrons, the first draft mob of the season. So be aware of that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm Ivan Vargas. Peace.
I want to say something before we get underway about the tape never lies. Okay, so I know that there's there's a billion podcasts and a lot of people talking about NFL and talking about the Bears. But let me just say that you really, if you are a viewer of Tape Never Lies, don't go anywhere else. Come right here. And the reason why is because Dr. Phil and the smartest man to ever live is going to tell you like it is. And so sometimes you'll go over here and I'll go over here and you'll hear this rhetoric over here, over there. Whittle it down. What I would say is ESPN Chicago, because I'll put myself over and I'll put ESPN 1000 over. But I think that we have to start whittling it down, man, because when you get these 10 or 15 sources, it muddles your mind on exactly what's truth and what's not. The Tape Never Lies network is about the truth.